Today, we're going to talk about sales and the 7 C's of sales in the car with Clint. Alliteration. Loving it. So, I have been selling for, I don't know, my whole life, and probably ever since a child, really. I mean, as a child, you're always selling to your parents or teachers or kindergarten teachers or whatever, the idea of giving you what you want. And as you get older, you move into selling potentially yourself to the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on what interests you and what you're attracted to. And then you're selling employers on hiring you. And then, obviously for me, I moved into selling stuff. So I've got a sales technique that comes natural to me because it's just what I do. It's in me, and I find it quite easy to have and build relationships with clients, and then to find what they need, want, and desire, and then formulate offers or packages, and then help them satisfy those needs, wants, and desires, and in return I get money. Now, I wanted to try and turn this into a teachable system, and so I've been working towards reverse engineering what I do, and it kind of happened to fall into everything starts with a C, makes it easy to remember. So the 7 C's of sales, the letter C. Number 1 is customer. You need to identify your potential customer, and you'll hear people talk about, or you'll read about avatars and creating the perfect avatar, and it's become easier and easier to be able to do that with the digital media space and understanding your audience, and Facebook and Google and other platforms where you will be selling will help kind of point all that together. But the most pure version of it for me, and the easier version, was a little bit more hand to hand, and I started out selling pizzas, right? So at Domino's, for us to identify our customer, it was any human being that had $5 that would buy pizza. Now, the important thing to remember that we were only worried about our local store. So our customers were people that were nearby. So identifying our customer was very easy. It was anyone that was in the delivery zone of our local store. And then we could move to the next stage. So we've identified our customer, number 1. The customer being anyone that's in the area. When I was working at my previous job, which is very in line to what I do now, we were dealing with landscapers and builders and plasterers and bricklayers. They didn't need to be working in a certain area, but they did need to be doing certain jobs because the materials that we were selling were specific to them. So we would have lists of landscapers, builders, and the like that would either come from us Googling them. There'd be lists inside the so at the time I started, the business was 20 years old, so they'd have a database of existing and I guess previous clients that maybe weren't using them anymore. So we were identifying the people that would use those products. Now that's for a trade base. Then you've also got a retail base, so then you're identifying those people. Now those people are more likely to be people that are living in your area that may be doing some kind of work. Now, you can get a list of building approvals from the local government, and then potentially send your offer via post to construction sites or people that have been building. You might also find that you can have say if you have built a relationship with the local builder, that when the house is finished, you might be able to hand over gift vouchers or promotional material to them for them to hand to their clients. So that's one way to identify them. Or you might use real estate agents and say, look, if you sell a house in the area, can we add this to your thank you pack? And it might be a gift voucher to use at your business to try and drag them in. it's really, the better you are at identifying how to get to these clients, the better the business is going to be. Now, obviously, this is going to come really down to the quality of the offer, but this is number one, working out who your customer is. Now, number two in the 7 C's of sales with Clint, in the car with Clint. Yeah, we'll get better at that. Number two is creating the offer. Now, I'm a big believer that our customers have long-term relationships with us. So all the businesses that I own are about recurring business. We're not a turn and burn business. We're not trying to sell, I don't want to use an example that might be incorrect, but say a roof restoration or a rainwater tank installation business that maybe opening up just in line with government rebates on things, and then having a plan to do as many of those things as possible, as quickly as possible, getting people to sign contracts, and then business closes, money's been made, there's no backup, no support, and they move on to the next shiny object, solar, whatever it might be. So my businesses are all about relationships, and that means that we need to make sure that we do the right thing and that we create offers that are in line with the customer's needs, wants, and desires. Because I'm not just trying to sell them stuff. I'm trying to be part of their life. I'm trying to be a solution provider for things that they need and use on the daily that they could buy from potentially other people, but choose to buy from my businesses because of the relationship we've developed. Now, when you're creating an offer, it's really important to think about the things that the clients and potential clients might be looking for or looking at regularly. So it might be a product, if I go back to, so for Domino's, right? If we go back to when I was working at Domino's, creating the offer was really price driven, and it was about giving people an excuse to use a coupon, there's another C for you, to buy pizzas for their family that week. So the offer was, a call to action, another C, which would be, say, $4.95, pick up pizzas, valid till the date. So there was always an expiry date that was quite short because it was a call to action. The idea was that these coupons would need to go into the letterbox all the time, and they needed to kind of look a little bit different. You will find that some chains like Domino's will have two for Tuesday. I think it's called 2 for Tuesday, so that you can buy one get one free on Tuesdays, and that becomes like a rolling offer. And then they'll have their vouchers that they'll either put on your letterbox, in your letterbox, or on your car, or whatever it is. So they're a slightly different offer. And then as I moved into my trade space, we'd have trade specials, which we had done for a long time, where we would identify products in the market that the clients or potential clients may be buying regularly, and we would have a price point of difference that would get their attention, so that they would experience the business. Now, for me, creating these offers has always been about getting our clients to try, or potential clients to try, the business, right? It was never been about buy a pizza, get the money, and move on. So the offer was really just about capturing their attention, bringing them in and letting them try us, because I've always been a believer that the businesses that I've created offer such a good level of service at such a competitive price that once people have tried the business, they won't go back to what they were doing before. So it's really about creating an offer that's appealing enough to get them in. So if it was, you see it all the time with hardware shops, like they'll have potting mix on special at the start of spring, or annuals, or seedlings, or pool chemicals, or chlorine, or salt, like stuff that you as a human being, if you've got a pool, you know that last time you bought salt, it was $6.95 for 20 kilos or whatever it is, and now hardware shop X has it for $4.95, and you're like, wow, that's a good price, because I know the market price of that product. I'm going to go to that shop and buy it. Now, if they care about your long-term business, that's further down the track. But at the moment, we're just talking about creating the offer. Now, you might be in a different space, say a coaching space, right? So you offer, could be anything, could be golf lessons, could be personal development, whatever it might be. You need to create an offer that's going to capture the attention of the person. You know, like I remember Catch of the Day. It's such a completely different market now, but every day they'd have an offer, say, buy one get one free golf lessons, or there was personal training ones where they'd have, you know, $1 a training session for 7 days. Creating those offers, you really need to capture the attention of the person, of the client that you're trying to communicate with. Alliteration's gone through the roof here. And then it's your responsibility. Well, step 3. We've got to talk about that later. But it's just about creating the offer. Think about what's going to capture people's attention. Think about what's going to make them stop and from, say, scrolling through their Facebook feed or listening to a television commercial if you're still on the trolley of TV, or having a YouTube adlet play through. Like, what's going to capture their attention? What is going to have someone open their email? What title in an email is going to have some grab their attention? What offer will be powerful enough that they're going to go, wow, that is something that I am interested in. I am that person. So the offer is in line with who they are. So Attention Landscapers of Adelaide. You know, the product is in line with what they're using. So this sprinkler is currently this price, and then the price point is in line with what they know and or perceive to be very competitive. And then you have done your offer. Now, there is tons and tons of literature on creating offers. There's books on creating offers. There's so much more. This is really just meant to be a quick, and it'll probably turn into an hour, but a quick 7 steps of how I do things. And then you can use this as a base point to go expand on it. I might expand on it at some point, but you can use it to expand on, and then you know, it doesn't have to be 7 C's. You could use it as a framework for you to create something that works for you. But that is number 2, create the offer.